So we are 3 for 3 for winners in the Discord this week, which has been a great week for me, and I'm going to show you the trades that I took. As always, I appreciate you watching. Do go down below and get in the Discord. It is free. If you want alerts and signals, you can get them down below as well for all my trades. These were all alerted in the Discord down below, as I said, and 3 for 3 for winners. So we are going to talk about the trade I took yesterday. So as you can see, this is my trade and this is my strategy. So basically what I do is before I wake up, well, when I wake up, before I trade, when I wake up every day, I'll go and I'll just mark out all the lows like this. This is my strategy, right? So I'll mark out all my lows and I'm waiting for sweeps of liquidity. Very, very simple stuff. You can see we came all the way down here and swept out pretty much all of this, which was pretty obvious if you look at this area. Lots and lots of just really, really obvious lows. And I was waiting for a reaction out of this area all day. And I noticed as time went on that we were creating this really obvious area of liquidity above that I could target. Obviously the 930 wick is a really good target as well up here, but this was quite far away at this point. Quite a bearish open. You can see we came all the way down. We came down here, didn't get an inverse, came down again. We got an inverse here, but I didn't trust this at all because this was just really choppy. And then we had this incredibly choppy period after. And then we came down and we got really nicely into discount and we got the trade that I was looking for. So we came down, we swept the last low of all of these lows. As you can see here, we almost got down to the next low, but we sweep out all these lows. So we've got what we've got here for my trade. I've got a liquidity target above. That 930 wick looks good, and also this trend line here, which I've now drawn in, as you can see. Really, really obvious target. So what have we got? We've got our liquidity target here and here. We've got a sweep of that low. Really bullish reaction here. Look at this candle. We've got ourselves good momentum back up. An inverted fair value gap with a 3 candle pattern V shape. What this means is basically you've got yourself, as you can see, you create yourself the gap. 1, 2, 3 candles, and then the fourth candle inverses the gap that we create there. That's a beautiful, beautiful signature and price, by the way. These are the exact kind of ones that you want to be looking for. You get your sweep of liquidity, you come down, and then look at how nice this looks. This looks absolutely incredible. Huge, massive, bullish candle with a massive wick on it, and then the next candle looks absolutely beautiful. So as you can see, what have we got? Good targets above, sweep, bullish reaction, really good momentum. We've got our inverted fair value gap and our 3 candle pattern V shape. So I enter on the inverse here, and then for my particular strategy, I risk about $200 per trade, and I copy trade on like 20 accounts, 30 accounts, and basically I'll have a manual stop, which is sized for about halfway between the low and the gap here, as you can see. So somewhere in the region of here. And then what I do is I basically target 1R, and then I scale half and I go break even. So I actually only made $150 on this trade, sadly, because as you can see, I got break evened on the rest because I scaled half here at 1R, and then I got break evened, and then the trade ran, as you can see, which is disappointing, but this can happen. And more often than not, when it comes back to the break even, it doesn't do this really. It's very rare that you'll scale and break even and then it goes and runs like this. But this can happen, and obviously this is disappointing because my trade idea worked absolutely to perfection apart from the break even. So as you can see, I scaled about $150 here at about 1R. And then I got break even on the rest, sadly. And then it ran up to my target, so you can see this could have been a 3, maybe a 4R, depending on how long, if you were willing to hold this. But for my particular model that I trade, where I scale half, go break even, and then hold the rest for runners, you can see this was unfortunate, but this did eventually play out. Run up through the liquidity here, as you can see, which was super obvious. A really, really obvious target if you know anything about liquidity. Liquidity is the thing that runs the market, in my opinion. Things like this, areas with lots and lots of obvious orders in, will always go and get tagged by NQ. NQ is really, really efficient at going and filling out these areas of price where the orders are really, really horrible like that. But anyway, this was my trade. Sadly, this was only a scale half and break even, but still a win, and still something that I alerted in my Discord. Go down below and join. Alerts and signals can be found down in the description as well, as I said. But anyway, this was yesterday's trade, and I'll just show you a few more of the trades that I took this week because it's been an absolute banger of a week. So as you can see, we have got another trade here, which was an absolute beast. Let's bring our rules down and let's talk about what we've got. So as you can see here, really, really obvious low. Again, super, super obvious low. You can see for New York session here, we open up bearish, we miss the low, we come back up, we hit the low, and then I'm thinking, okay, I could definitely take a trade from here. Look at what we're looking for. this signature and price is easy to spot, guys. Like, it's exactly the same as last time. Look at this. What have we got? Obvious targets above. We had quite a few Trump candles on this day because there was a lot of really weird swings in the market. 50-point candles out of nowhere. But anyway, you can see, as I said before, the 930 wick candle for open is always a good target, as you can see here. And if you go on the lower time frame here and have a quick look at what I saw in real time, you'll see that there were a few kind of like, I wouldn't say trend lines, but these kinds of areas of price where you've got lots and lots of kind of obvious grinding down. These kinds of signatures and price do tend to get hit quite often. So anyway, if we go back on the 5 minute, you'll see what have we got. Let's go through my rules again. Here are my rules. Super simple, super simple. All I do every day before I take any trades, before I even look at the charts, I'll go through and just mark out all the obvious lows on the 5 minute, and I'll just put alerts at them, and I'll just trade from those areas. It's really simple. You don't have to sit at the charts all day wondering what the hell's going on. Go and have a coffee, go out somewhere. Just, you know, when those alerts get hit, just check the charts and see if you can get a trade. It's really that simple. So again, same principle as last time. What are we looking for? First, before I take a trade, I look, is there any obvious liquidity I can target? Yes, there is. We've swept this low finally, which was really obvious. And I'm looking at the chart and thinking, this looks like quite an obvious area of price we could come back to. And the 930 wick looks obvious as well. 5 minute, so obviously it's got way more orders in it than the 1 or the 2 minute, so even more credence. And then we just came up and closed above this 5 minute here, as you can see. A bit of a strange one because we did have another 5 minute above, but I had good conviction that this would reverse. Because if you look here, think about this logically, right? We barely missed the low. What does that tell you? It tells you that people are trying to get in early before this low gets hit because they want to catch the move to the upside. This wouldn't happen, in my opinion, if we were just going to go vroom, straight down and drop like 100 points below this level and not get a trade. In my opinion, when you think about it logically, you can see people are trying to preempt this low getting hit because they think that price is going to go up for the most part. So when we come down and then eventually hit it after already getting this kind of rally away from it, it tells me that price is probably going to bounce here. It gives me more confidence in the trade because it's already bounced without even hitting the low before because people are trying to get in early and catch the move back up. So you can see here, obviously, we didn't get any sweep here. And at this point, you know, I'm thinking I'm waiting for the low. There's no way. We did sweep this low here, as you can see, which was obvious. And we almost hit the low, and then we did come back up and close above these fair value gaps here on the 5 minute, but I didn't trust this trade because, as you can see, we missed this obvious low, and I would never take a trade after missing the most obvious low that we could trade from. So, with all that in mind, we go through the process. We've got targets, we've established that, we've got our sweep, we get our bullish reaction, good momentum, 3 candle pattern V-shape, we're ticking off all of our boxes here. So, I enter. I'm sized, as I said, for about $200 risk, which I think is about 2 micros or so because the stop loss on this is pretty massive. It's 50 points. So about 2 micros on this trade, as you can see. If we take a look at what happens next, we go straight up for 1R. I actually trailed my stop because I'm only in 2 micros, so I'm trying to preserve them a bit more. I trailed my stop on this first 5 minute candle, which went to 1R straight away, by the way. And you can see here, I was a bit like, I was also trailing because I was waiting to see if we closed above this 5 minute here, which we just about did. But I think I scaled my first micro at about $150-ish again. And then I went break even on the rest, which is my model. And then, very simple, what's my last thing I do? Hold runners for liquidity. What did I do? I held runners for liquidity. So I held this runner all the way up here. And then I was thinking I'm in quite a lot of profit here at 5R, so I just decided later on that I was going to trail, and it was a good job that I did because, as you can see, I trailed somewhere in the region of here. I think I got stopped realistically at about 4R in this area here. We barely missed the high, and then we came all the way back down, and then look what happened next. Sadly, I wouldn't have been able to hold this because on prop firms they make you close your positions at the end of the day, but as you can see, if I was on a live account and I held this overnight, my goodness me, this would have been the best trade I've ever taken. 25R to the highs there, maybe. Yeah, you can see the potential. You do get these every 100 trades, I would say. Maybe you do get a trade like this that can run for like 10, 20R. But it all depends on catching the market at the right time. And like I said, if you're on prop firms, most likely the rules will mean you'll close the trade before you get to catch that huge move. Usually overnight. That was obviously ceasefire announcement, which pumped the market 1,000 points overnight. But you can see, can't you? This is the model. This is the strategy that I trade. Really, really simple rules, easy to follow. I'll show you. That was Tuesday, I believe. And I'll show you what I took on Monday, because there was 2 trades on Monday. Both of them worked. And I actually only alerted one of them, because one of them I'm actually I forgot to alert it in the Discord, because I was having people come into my house and do stuff and fix some stuff up, so I was kind of like half trading, half watching them. But you can see here again, same principle again. Let's talk about it. Really obvious wick. We come down, we tag this wick, which was a data low. We obviously open up here, bullish. We've got seek and destroy. We take the high, we take the low again, and then we actually had a bullish reaction here, which I thought was quite good. This wasn't a 3 candle pattern. You can see this is a 4 candle pattern, but I still thought this would have worked. As you can see, what have we got? Liquidity targets here. We've got these kind of, you know, just another area of price here where I thought this will probably go and get hit. You can see we've kind of got like a trend line area where, you know, there's quite a lot of orders that will probably go and get hit. We missed them on the first push. We come down, we sweep the low, we get the inverse here. So what have we got? We've got liquidity targets above that I can hit, sweep, bullish reaction, momentum. We've got the inverted fair value gap here on the 2-minute, really big obvious gap. This wasn't a 3 candle pattern V shape, so not as good, but it was a 4 candle, so I thought it would still work. So I got to 1R, took this with about 2 micros again, maybe 3 micros realistically. And then I took one off here, a 1R, which was coincided nicely with this high, went break even, and then I think I held the other one for about 2R or so, and then once we hit these highs here, I just trailed for about 2R because I didn't know how far we'd go, and as you can see, we came down after that. So another great trade there. As you can see, this strategy has worked really, really well this week in general. And then there was one that I alerted in the Discord here, which I liked, because look at this. We create all this obvious, all these obvious lows. Look at all this liquidity down here. Super obvious. Really, really obvious area of liquidity. We come down, we sweep it, and then we do get a reasonably bullish reaction here. The reason that I like this trade was because we kind of came up here, as you can see, and we actually closed over these 2 fair value gaps at the same time. And I had a reasonably good idea after all of this ranging for the day that we'd come down and then come back up, and we had created some areas of price that we could target, as you can see, and also this big obvious wick up here has probably got loads of orders above. So I alerted this one in the Discord as well, and this one went for a 1R and break even, as you can see, before going higher, or just going sideways for the most part. But I think you get the idea, guys. My strategy has been undefeated this week. Absolutely incredible week for me. 3 wins for 3. 2 big wins. I actually took both of these, so I mean technically you could say this is a 1R and break even, and then this one was 2R pretty much, or 1.5R if you count the scale. But you can see the idea, can't you? Trading doesn't have to be so damn hard. It doesn't have to be incredibly stressful. It doesn't have to take over your entire life. And really, you can be hitting absolute bangers like this all the time. You just need to wait for the right conditions and use the right strategy. If you do want to get more information about this, you can watch my videos every single day. As I said, I do daily videos about the trades that I take. And this week has been particularly amazing. Really, really good trades. Simple stuff. No stress. You just wait for your levels and trade from them, and then you just play the odds basically. The model's got about an 80% win rate. I've took about 100k in payouts over the past year from Apex, Lucid, TradeFi, all kinds of places from copy trading my accounts. And overall things have been pretty good. So like I said, if you want to get more education and you want to join the community, go down in the description below. The Discord link is down there. Go down there. It's totally free to join the Discord. If you want alerts for all my trades, you can get them down below in the description in the WAP as well. I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.